Hey there, my secret diary animated fans. I'm Caitlin, 17 years old, and yeah, I come from a super upper class noble family. What's special about me? Well, ever since I was little, I've been betrothed to Jay, a prince from some Nordic country. But seriously, my future husband is a total loser. Caitlin, target on the left. Like it's a big deal. Hitting targets is my jam. Caitlin, watch out. Holy smokes, that was close. Sebastian's timely shot took down the arrow, heading straight for me. Phew, that was a close shave. Oops, my arrow seems to have a liking for you. Caitlin is going to be your future princess. Don't be rude, so what? Without her, I'll just marry someone else. I'm the future king. I might even need, 10 wives. This jerk. I couldn't just stand there and listen to that sleazebag Jay go on any longer, so I pulled up my bow and shot an arrow straight at him. The arrow whizzed past Jay, leaving him frozen and speechless. Don't worry, I'll make sure I never have to marry someone like you. I've always hated this whole arranged marriage setup, because the guy I really like is Sebastian, Jay's twin brother. Sebastian and Jay look so alike. Even our parents mix them up sometimes. Sadly, Jay's personality doesn't even come close to 1% of Sebastian's. He's the most polite, decent guy I've ever met. Sebastian is better than Jay in every way, from archery to martial arts, and obviously brains too. Unfortunately, according to some dumb royal rule, the elder twin gets the throne, and also gets to be my lovely future husband. Because of that stupid wedding, I've been dragged here since I was little to learn all these boring, stodgy court rituals. Caitlin, what is Rule 13 in diplomatic etiquette? What? I can't even open my eyes properly yet. If you can't answer, you'll kneel in the Great Hall. Just like last time. Oh my gosh, you can't imagine how awful that punishment is. That'll teach you to aim at a prince. Just thinking about it is so humiliating. While I was panicking, not knowing what to say, suddenly Sebastian appeared like a knight in shining armor. Rule 13 in diplomatic etiquette is to always wait and invite your counterpart to start the meal first, right, teacher? Then he told me the king wanted to see me urgently, grabbed my hand, and pulled me away. What's going on? The king called for me. The king says you've learned enough. Time to go out and play. This guy always knows how to surprise me and make me happy. He stole a set of clothes from a tall guard. Come on, hurry up, climb on my shoulders. I quickly climbed onto Sebastian's shoulders and we pretended to be one tall guard. We actually managed to sneak out. He took me to an amusement park. This lively place was a total contrast to the dreary, laughter-deprived royal court. The roller coasters, the cotton candy, the happy screams. It was all so new and exciting. For the first time, I felt like a normal teenager, not just some future princess stuck in a rulebook. Sebastian made me laugh so hard my stomach hurt. He even won me a giant teddy bear at a ring toss game, which, by the way, he was a natural at. It was the best day ever, and it just made me fall for him even more. But as the sun started to set, I knew we had to go back. Back to the palace, back to Jay, and back to a future I desperately wanted to escape. Sebastian and I decided to sneak out and try all the carnival games. I have no idea how much money he brought, but he was ready to spend it all. "Feeling awake yet?" he asked, grinning. "Look at you," he said, handing me a prize. "This is just for you." But our fun was cut short. Suddenly, we heard shouting, and the noise of people got louder as they approached. "Aren't those the royal guards?" I whispered. We bolted, but luck wasn't on our side. We were caught, and the punishment was swift. Sebastian got the worst of it. He was beaten pretty badly. The next day, I rushed to find him, but I ran straight into Jay in the Great Hall. He was the same old jerk, his competitive nature flaring up. Looking for him. He sneered, "Don't you know there's a new rule? The princess is forbidden from having any contact with the prince's brother." I was stunned. "What did you do?" He just smirked, just snitched a little. Just then, a messenger arrived with an order for me to move to a new residence, still under royal surveillance. And Sebastian. He was being sent somewhere else entirely. I couldn't hold it in anymore. Dang it. I'd rather marry someone like Sebastian than a person like you. Unfortunately for me, the king and several courtiers were standing nearby and heard every word. The king was furious. He ordered our punishments to be carried out immediately. But I was transferred to the east side of the palace, and as for Sebastian, I had no idea where they were sending him. Life on the East Coast wasn't easy, and years passed without a single word about Sebastian. I missed him like crazy. Everything was a blur until one day the royal messenger announced that I was to return to the main palace to prepare for my nightmare wedding to Jay. I had mentally prepared for this day for years. I was ready. I was going to wreck this marriage and make Jay pay for what he did to my Sebastian. On the big day, I was all dressed up to meet the public and the royal family. As usual, I sat at the banquet table, waiting for my so-called fiancé to show up. The announcer's voice boomed. "Ladies and gentlemen, Prince Jay Kowalski." Wow. No way. He walked in looking surprisingly sharp. I never thought the jerk could look so decent or composed, but a polished exterior can't hide a rotten personality. He was even pulling out chairs for the ladies at the party. I guess his usual rudeness took some acting classes. As I was lost in thought, I accidentally knocked over my wine glass. Oh, snap. Oh heavens, my apologies, Your Highness. Just as I started to panic, I was suddenly lifted into the air. Jay had swept me up into his arms. He addressed the room calmly. "Excuse me, guests. Please continue with your meal. I need to handle this little mishap with my future wife." What is he doing? All eyes were on us now. Was he trying to play the perfect husband? Fine. I'll show him what it's like to marry a firecracker like me. I put on my best smile. Oh my, what a charming prince. Truly the people's future king. But he just kept looking at me with this affectionate smile and even planted a kiss on my cheek. "Are you out of your mind?" I whispered. "Hush now, my love," he replied softly. After 4 years, Jay's calmness was unnerving. He was nothing like the person I remembered. He carried me straight to the bedroom, and I had no idea what was going to happen next. He's usually so gentle, but then he suddenly whirls around a full 180 degrees. "Stop causing a scene. You're embarrassing me. This guy is infuriating, but I won't back down. Not until I find out what really happened to Sebastian. I still need to stall and find a way to wreck this ridiculous marriage." The next day, while Jay is in the middle of a business meeting with some leader from Southeast Asia, I show up. And I've brought my trusty bow and arrow. Black Stallion, charge, my horse surges forward, and I start shooting arrows one after another at paper targets printed with that detestable man's face. All the guests are completely shocked by my audacity, insulting the prince right in front of everyone. "What's up? You want to call off the engagement now?" Suddenly, Jay comes up right behind me. "If you aimed a little better, you'd actually hit the mark." Oh my God, what is this feeling? Don't tell me I've actually fallen for this madman. No, no, he must be acting. I can't let myself soften up. Just then, a shout rings out. "Watch out. Someone's trying to harm the prince." Before I can even react, guards are yelling, "Protect the prince and the princess." And then Jade just took an arrow for me. Right after the chaos, Jay and I rushed back to the royal palace to cool off. My mind was racing. Why would anyone want to harm him? And why did Jay shield me? Does he ... actually like me? While I'm lost in a daze of questions, I suddenly overhear some palace servants whispering. Could it be someone seeking revenge for Lord Sebastian? Must be. I heard Lord Sebastian just vanished in some accident. Something's fishy there. The royal family stopped talking about him altogether. Sebastian ... vanished. No way. What could he have possibly done to deserve this? I will find out the truth, no matter what it takes. I couldn't wait a single moment longer. That night, I decided to sneak out and search the prince's room. Thanks to the recent ambush, security was tighter than ever. I had to be super careful not to get caught. I tiptoed around, searching. Where is it? What's this? Suddenly, a guard's voice booms. "Your Majesty, we've caught the suspect." "A suspect?" "No, it's me. Speak. Why are you here?" Of course, I couldn't spill my real motives. Just as I was being escorted away, a figure in black swooped in, swiftly knocked down the guards, and pulled me away from the crowd. "Who is this guy? Let me go. Who are you?" As soon as he sets me down, I rip the mask off my mysterious abductor. The kidnapper ... It's none other than Jay. I don't get it. He looks at me, his eyes serious. I'll explain everything later. For now, let's just get you out of here. Don't be scared. But I wasn't having it. No, I'm not going anywhere. What have you done with my Sebastian? How dare you guys mess with him? Just then, a scary-looking gang appears from the shadows behind Jay, led by a man I recognize instantly. Jay and Sebastian's uncle. So it was you all along. He smirks. Yes, I've been watching you for a long time. Now, both the prince and his tiny wife are in my hands. Be smart and tell the king to pass the crown to your brother. Then he's sorely mistaken. I look him dead in the eye. I'm not the prince. You just kidnapped his brother. Won't let you touch the royal family, turns out. Sebastian has been impersonating Jay all along to uncover this coup. He was under royal orders and ready to die for Jay at any moment. There was no accident at all. My poor Sebastian, after many years, the person I've been dealing with these past days was actually the one I've always longed for. No wonder. He was always so gentle with me, yet had to keep his distance sometimes to avoid suspicion. You're just your brothers. Shadow, if you want me to spare her, lead me to the prince. Hurry up, fine. Give her the car keys and I'll take her to the prince. He sneers and throws the car keys at me suddenly. I catch a signal from Sebastian, attack now. Caitlin getting the hint, I quickly grab the keys and H them at the evil man while his guards are off guard. Sebastian swiftly takes down the troops. Luckily, right after that, the royal forces find us. All the baddies have to pay for their actions. I immediately run over and hug Sebastian tightly. Then he had to sit through an hour of me scolding him for lying to me. After this ordeal, the king sees Sebastian in a new light and gives him a chance to compete fairly with Jay, but he declines the opportunity, asking for just one thing. I ask that you annul Caitlin's engagement to the prince. She deserves to choose her own happiness. Luckily, the king agrees. Now I can enjoy the life of a 17-year-old teen fully and be with the one I love. Hey there, I'm Harper from a quaint little town in Venezuela. Before diving into my story, take a second to like it and subscribe to MDA. I grew up with my loving single dad who always put me first. Dad worked his butt off in the past, and now we live comfortably in a huge mansion. Unlike other millionaire dads, he always makes time for me. Money isn't everything. To me, you are. My mum died in an accident when I was 5, while Dad was on a business trip. Since then he realized that no amount of money or power could replace family love. But as Dad got richer and stayed single, I grew more worried about the gold diggers circling around him. They all wanted to be my stepmom and lay their hands on Dad's massive fortune. I did my job well until I turned 17. Us girls were huddled up gossiping about the guys in the school basketball team when the bell rang. Swear I accidentally brushed against his muscles. Bet they're like the rocks. Oh, come on, enough ladies. Boys are always a hot topic. But it's time for class. A new teacher, huh? Alright. Miss Smith quit to marry some rich guy and our new homeroom teacher is what's her name again? Blair Reynolds. You can call me Miss Blair. Not married, huh? Wow, she shines in that smart outfit, showing off her perfect figure. Look at her hair must be meticulously cared for. Her jewelry and purse are all luxury items. Hey Harper, are you thinking what I'm thinking? A snobby teacher, huh? True to form, she could spend a whole period talking about her hair or how much her nails cost. But the boys in class were smitten, even nicknaming her Blair the Angel. One day, I bet my best friend Clara that Miss Blair would bring 2 outfits to school in one morning. There was only one way to find out. We decided to pull a little prank. Nothing harmful. As usual, Miss Blair walked in gracefully and settled into her chair. 1, 2, 3. Who did this? My $1,000 outfit. We roared with laughter as the whole class turned to look at us. Uh-oh, Miss Blair freaked out and called our parents. See? I told you she'd bring 2 outfits for just one morning, but that wasn't important anymore. Clara's parents didn't show, but my dad did. I was shaking like a leaf. Sure, I'd be grounded for life. Dad started, Harper, you're usually a good student, but this time you went too far. But you weren't even hurt, I mumbled. Don't test my patience, Harper. Miss Blair then said, Sir, I'm so sorry about your daughters, but my dad wasn't listening anymore. His eyes were glued to Miss Blair. I'd never seen him so spaced out. After taking the report card from her, Dad walked out like he was floating on cloud 9. Oh no, anyone but her. After school that day, I saw a bunch of scary-looking guys across the street. I wondered which bad egg from our school was mixed up with those thugs. No idea, Clara said. Not our business. Let's go. Before we could sneak away, a big, burly guy stopped us. Hello, can we help you? Hey, no, Blair Reynolds. We looked at each other, obviously knowing who he was talking about. Tell her to pay up quick if she's smart, or don't blame us for what happens. So it was clear Miss Blair was no angel. The next day, Dad came home looking really happy, but he brought Miss Blair with him and introduced her as his girlfriend. This was the first time my dad ever brought another woman home, and it made me mad. In the very house my mum used to live. No way. Plus, Miss Blair wasn't a good person. I had to find a way to open Dad's eyes. I took his phone, sent some random texts to her, and then deleted all traces. Miss Blair got mad at Dad the next day, but when he showered her with gifts, she was all smiles again. Such a blatant gold digger. One day I caught Blair doing something suspicious in our kitchen. What was she up to now? It looked like she was adding something to Dad's food. I yelled and was about to drag her out of the house when Dad showed up. Blair was just making some snacks for me, sweetheart. Who knows if she planned to put laxatives in them so she could sneak into Dad's room and clean out the safe. But then I thought of another way to scare her off. Let me do it. Doesn't Dad love the pancakes I make? Dad happily agreed, while Miss Blair looked uneasy. Don't worry, I won't poison them, for sure. But for her plate, I specially used olive oil, instead of honey. She'd pay for trying to ruin my family. We sat down and started a pleasant conversation. Blair ate 1 bite, 2 bites, and didn't show any weird reaction. How could this be? How is it, Dad? Delicious. Harper's pancakes are always great. Mum taught me when I was little. How do you find them, Miss Blair? Oh, great. She almost finished her plate, to the point where I even cringed. Do pancakes actually go with olive oil? Ooh, gross. Her endurance is impressive. Oh, Miss Blair, you have such beautiful hands. They must be soft. Then I pretended to wince so Dad could see it. I guess I've been studying too hard. My back and legs hurt. Wish someone could massage them. Blair quickly fell for my trap. No wonder my dad was so into her. Dad even gave her a diamond ring at the end of the day. When Blair had left, I saw Dad deep in thought, counting money in the safe. Was he robbed? All my suspicions fell on Blair. I knew she owed a huge debt to some shady guys, and everything was just too clear. But Dad would never believe me without proof. So after school the next day, I snuck into the trunk of Miss Blair's car. I had to get some evidence against her. When the car stopped, I peeked outside. Wow, that was a big, seemingly wealthy house. Had I misunderstood her? She didn't seem short on cash. But just a few minutes later, a young, handsome man approached the front door. "Why are you so late? I've been waiting for you. Let's go inside. I've missed you." Jesus, besides my dad, she's seeing someone else. I've got to take pictures as evidence. I sneaked around to the back of the house where I could catch Blair and the man laughing joyfully with a little boy. Oh my, she even has a kid. But in my panic, I dropped my phone. I had no choice. I had to jump through the window to retrieve it. This mission was getting tricky. The sound of approaching footsteps scared me, so I ran upstairs and into a random room. Geez, it looks like I'm in Blair's bedroom. I noticed a bunch of photos on her dresser and looked closer. Wait, that's her, and the man from downstairs, and the little boy. They looked like a happy family, and next to them was a picture of my mum. Just then Blair walked in. "Harper, what are you doing here?" She looked shocked. I confronted her. "Who are you? And why do you have a picture of my mum?" Blair's eyes filled with tears. She explained that the man was her brother and the little boy was her son. The photo of my mum was because they were childhood best friends. My mum had once saved her from a terrible accident. After my mum passed away, she found out my dad was struggling, so she came to help. The money she took from my dad, it wasn't for her, but to pay for her son's urgent medical bills. She never wanted to be a burden and planned to pay it all back. I was stunned. All this time, I had completely misunderstood her. I felt so ashamed of how I'd treated her. She wasn't a gold digger. She was just a desperate mother trying to save her son, and a loyal friend trying to honor a promise to my mum. From that day on, everything changed. I apologized to Blair, and we started over, this time as a real family. You might know me as the 16-year-old entrepreneur from New Jersey, the girl who had it all. But trust me, my life wasn't always this straightforward. Let's rewind a bit. It all started with my dad's new girlfriend, Blair. She was my teacher, and honestly, I thought she was a total gold digger. One night, things got crazy. My dad's safe was open and money was missing. My first thought, it had to be Blair. So I followed her. I tracked her to a sketchy part of town and saw her meeting two shady-looking guys. I was so ready to expose her. But then a little boy ran out, and those guys went after him. Before I could even react, Blair flew into action. With a few quick moves, both thugs were on the ground. I was speechless. Turns out the little boy was her nephew, and the man with him was her brother. They were in deep debt, and Blair was trying to help them. My dad had offered her money, but she refused. That's when the guilt hit me hard. The missing money from the safe. Oh, that was all me. Dad had given it to me for a new handbag, and we both completely forgot. I was so embarrassed and got grounded for a month, which I totally deserved. Blair never brought up that night. She knew I suspected her, but she never judged me. The way she protected her nephew and even me in that moment reminded me of my mum. She used to shield me just like that. I realized I had been completely wrong about her. Blair was kind and brave, just a little more flamboyant than I was used to. It took me 2 hours to do this hairstyle. What do you think? After that, I decided to be more open-minded. My dad could love whoever made him happy. Now, let's fast forward. Life got even more unbelievable. I became famous as a toddler after a photo of me went viral, hitting 1 million likes. By 2 years old, I was a star. I was the face of big brands, constantly surrounded by paparazzi. My family supported me in everything, and by the age of 5, I owned a jewelry store named after me. I bought houses and cars, and even made it onto the list of the world's youngest millionaires. Life was amazing. But then, when I turned 16, everything came crashing down. We got a threatening call. Someone was accusing my store of selling fake jewelry. The voice on the phone was menacing. I have all the proof. Shut down all your stores, or your career and reputation are toast. The threats didn't stop there. My perfect world was about to be turned upside down, and that's where the real story begins. I thought the threatener was just some dumb business rival trying to play dirty. But when they sent over what they called proof, I was totally shocked. All the logos were mine, but the necklace was made of white gold instead of platinum. As I was trying to figure out the mix-up, my cousin Jenna dropped by the store. "It's late. Let's head home together, shall we?" Just as I locked up, Jenna screamed when she saw a shadowy figure near her car. She ran off and I chased her, but Jenna's second scream stopped me. "Harley, you have to see this." On her car, scratched into the paint, were the words, "I warned you." I wanted to chase the guy down, but Jenna held me back. "It's too dangerous." The police and my parents came, but no trace of the attacker was found. The search shattered the city's peaceful atmosphere. My parents were more worried than ever, but I knew they respected my decisions. Harley, fine. I'll shut down the business, just for a while. Jenna looked at her car, heartbroken. Sorry about your car. But then, my dad made an even more shocking decision. You need a bodyguard. A personal guard. What? In my 16 years of life, I never thought I'd need a bodyguard in my own home. It felt so weird, but I couldn't say no to my parents' firm decision this time. I randomly picked a resume because they all seemed the same anyway. When I met my bodyguard, well, no surprise, a huge, muscular man who probably could take down an elephant. But before I could even get in the car, he slipped on a banana peel and ended up with a broken arm. Gosh, hold on, he said, I think I can make this right. My son, ... When I met the son of the clumsy guy, I almost fainted. His face ... handsome, suave, no words could describe him. And he seemed just a few years older than me. Hello, I'm Kane. I'll be filling in for my dad while he's out. I raised an eyebrow. You look too young for this job. Are you sure? Suddenly, a guy came charging at me out of nowhere, and Kane swiftly moved me out of harm's way. Wow, impressive. Let's go, he said coolly. As I approached my classroom the next day, Jenna ran up and was about to hug me, but Kane quickly stepped in to block her. Ouch, what's wrong with you? Who are you? I sighed. He's my bodyguard. Jenna stared. A bodyguard? Really? I thought you hated having someone tailing you all the time. I'm Harley's cousin. Do you think I want to harm my own sister? Kane's face was unreadable. I'm just doing my job, ma'am. Jenna pulled me aside. Well, give me a second. You'll see. Bodyguards are just guys following you around, not helping at all. You should fire him as soon as possible. I tried to reason with her. Come on, it can't be that bad. But Jenna was right. Kane followed me everywhere, even to the school restroom and our sleepover party. It was driving me crazy. Does he want to join our pillow fight or something? This was getting out of hand. But what could I do? And more importantly, who was the mysterious attacker, and what did they really want from me? During Jenna's sleepover, Kane just stood outside the door without a word. So rude. I knew he was right there, just listening. Geez, does that guy ever sleep? I grumbled to Jenna about his statue-like attitude, and she, being the genius she is, came up with a brilliant idea. Let's embarrass him, she said. Maybe he'll get so ashamed he'll just quit on his own. You're good at this stuff, right? That sounded promising. I mean, what could go wrong? So I woke up at 3 a.m. and set up a classic net trap right above the door. He was going to be the joke of the night, and I couldn't wait to see the look on his face. I took a deep breath, and then I screamed like I'd just seen a ghost. 1.2.3. Just as planned, Kane burst into the room like a whirlwind, and whoops, he got caught right in my trap. Look at you, all helpless up there." I laughed. "You find this funny?" he asked, his voice completely flat. "Yes, absolutely," I gloated, but then his tone shifted. "Oh, no. Let me down, please. I'm scared of heights." His sudden vulnerability felt like a victory. It served him right for always being so cold and unfeeling. But as I gloated, I took a step back and tripped on the main string. It snapped back, and suddenly I was hanging upside down right next to Kane. Uh-oh, this was awkward. Before I could even process what happened, Kane, quick as a flash, freed himself from the net. I braced myself, fully expecting him to laugh in my face. But he didn't. Instead, he quickly cut the rope I was tangled in. I thought I was going to crash to the floor, but he caught me. Well, more like scooped me up in his arms. His face was so close to mine, I could feel my heart skip a beat as we stared at each other. Then Kane started to lean in, closer and closer, and just then the lights flickered on. Startled, I pushed him away. My face was burning. How embarrassing. The next day, I had to go to my jewelry store to check on things. Despite the weirdness, I still had a business to run. Kane, however, stubbornly refused to let me go, muttering something about safety reasons. So annoying. Nothing ever happens in broad daylight. We argued for a bit, but eventually he agreed to wait in the car. After my little prank last night, it seemed like he'd loosened up a tiny bit. He just nodded and drove into the parking lot. As I walked into the store, my heart stopped. I saw a young man in a mask rummaging through one of the display cases. I was too scared to scream. All I could do was stammer as I backed away. He had messy red hair, and I'd never seen him before. When he finally noticed me, he charged straight at me, knocking me to the floor. Ow! The pain shot up my leg. Suddenly, Kane was there. "You just don't listen, do you, Harley?" he said, his voice tight with concern. "Quick, chase him." I yelled, "He's the one who's been threatening me." But Kane just stood there and let the guy escape. He missed the perfect chance to catch him. "Your leg is more important," he said, kneeling beside me. Luckily, my leg was just bruised, but the real damage came later. News that my jewelry store was selling fakes spread like wildfire across the media. It became a huge scandal online. Even though Jenna tried her best to help me correct the misinformation, the damage was done. My reputation was in tatters. Ugh, I swear one day I will catch that guy and clear my name. Jenna came to visit, but then she called Kane outside to talk. They must have thought I was asleep, but I wasn't. What could Jenna possibly want to talk to my bodyguard about? I heard their hushed voices through the slightly open window. "What are you really here for?" Jenna asked. "I think you're smart enough to figure it out," Kane replied coolly. My heart started pounding. "I knew from the start you were untrustworthy." Jenna accused. "Why didn't you chase after the person who threatened her?" Are you plotting something against Harley? Do you ... like Harley? The silence that followed was deafening. How long had he known? Shocked, I realized I had put my trust in the wrong person. He was supposed to protect me, not harbor feelings for me. How could I confront this? The next morning, I couldn't look at him. Harley, I need to talk to you, Kane started, his voice gentle. Enough, I cut him off, my voice shaking with a mix of anger and hurt. Leave. Before I lose my mind, I didn't let him explain. I just got up and pushed him towards the door. Get out. I never want to see your face again. I knew he stood outside for a while before finally leaving. Whatever his reasons, he had just ruined everything. As the footsteps faded, the tears I'd been holding back finally fell. I cried until I couldn't breathe. Thankfully, Jenna was there to comfort me, just like she always had since we were kids. The danger's over, she whispered, stroking my hair. No need to worry anymore. How about we do something fun? She took me to a party at her friend's place. The music was pumping, and for a little while I actually forgot about all the stress. I needed this break. After a while, Jenna handed me a drink. Just orange juice, she said with a smile. But after a few sips, I started to feel dizzy and weird. My head felt heavy, my vision blurry. Through the haze, I heard faint voices. You sure about this? No turning back now. Then Jenna's voice, cold and unfamiliar. Don't ask stupid questions. Once she's gone, everything will be mine. When you're rich, don't forget me, another voice said. You talk too much, Jenna snapped. Suddenly, I felt myself being lifted off the ground. I was too weak to resist, too out of it to scream. Then, a flash of red hair. It was him, Kane. Put her down, he commanded, his voice a low growl. What's happening? The man holding me stammered. I said, put her down, Kane repeated, his tone leaving no room for argument. This time, before the guy could escape, Kane had him pinned. I stumbled, my head spinning. Kane, I thought, I sent you away. I followed because I was worried about you, he said, his eyes never leaving the man he held. For the rest, ask the one who needs to be asked. That's when I saw her, standing in the shadows, her face a mask of fury. Jenna. She was the one talking to the kidnapper. Jenna, why? I whispered, the world tilting on its axis. Her laughter was bitter. Why? Ever since we were kids, you've always taken all the attention, with your damn jewelry store getting richer and richer, while everyone treated me like a loser next to a genius. Yes, it was me. I made those calls. I exposed you online. My plan was perfect if it wasn't for this jerk. The betrayal hit me harder than any physical threat. The sister I loved and respected had hated me all along. The last favor I did for her was not calling the police. Later, after the chaos settled, Kane and I were alone. I think we need to talk, I said quietly. As he turned back, I saw his face light up with a hopeful smile. I thought you were mad at me, he stammered, for admitting that I like you. A small smile touched my lips. You fool, I thought you were behind all this. He looked confused. Yeah, ... What did you say anyway? Before he could answer, I changed the subject. You're still my bodyguard. A shadow crossed his face. I guess I have to quit this job. Why? Why would you? I asked, my heart sinking. Just then, a familiar voice called out, Hello, I'm back. We both turned. It was him, the guy who tried to take me, now in handcuffs with the police. Kane grinned at me. Well, he said, his voice dropping low as he stepped closer, then we'll just have to be together in a different way.